Alright, I'm here with Melbourne racing analyst Trevor Lawson. How you going, Trev?
Good, Mark.
This is our last Saturday preview of the year before we go on a short little break. So back to Flemington tomorrow for the last Saturday meeting before Christmas. You've had a bit of a look at the quaddie legs.
Yeah.
So race 6, we'll just have a bit of a look at down the straight. Your favourite sort of race?
Yeah. There's 3 straight races tomorrow, so
Yep.
Excuse me. Yeah. Anyway.
Mind you have had a little bit of success in straight races.
Well, I think early on we were sort of just betting in the most of them, and then it is a bit of horses for courses thing. Horses that you need. Generally, you like to back horses already back race down there. So.
Yep.
I sort of got very selective, and in getting very selective, we've sort of been okay. And just sort of basically bet in the races where the horses are proven down the straight.
Yeah, so real particular straight form.
Yeah. Well, they're all trained to basically run around corners and to follow the rail.
Yep.
From a young age, and then some especially when they race down the middle of the track or they come to the outside fence, but more so when they come down the middle of the track, and horses, you can just see them get lost. They get their heads on the side, and they get a funny action going. So it's just some horses handle it and some horses don't.
Okay, fair enough. Race 6 tomorrow is a benchmark 70. Down the straight, that girl, $3.30 at the moment, and can't be done at $3.80. How's your market look?
So I've got them equal favourites, but just slightly longer than the market.
Yep.
Just because it's not a race I want to bet in, been a straight race, and neither of them have seen the straight. So it's just one of those races. But I thought there was, from a quaddie point of view, because of that reason, that they're untested down the straight, I just thought there were some other chances in the race as well. So
okay. So we've got El Burke and Zoo Shack at $7.50, and Antagonizer at $9. Where have you got them?
So we got Can't Be Done and that girl about 9 to 2.
Yep.
Antagonizer, it's trolled nicely. Its best figure was a 1400 metre race, but it has trolled nice, and Williams is sticking with it. So I've sort of got it around the $8 mark. Albuquerque got too far back the other day and it ran on. I sort of got it around the $10 mark. Zoo Shark, it's been up for a while, and it's basically been up since August, and it's sort of its last couple of ratings aren't quite as good as its earlier ratings. So I sort of got it much longer. I thought 4 had a rough chance. It won all right first up, and then had sort of excuses its past couple.
It's Viking Warrior.
Yeah, and the other one's the bottom one. It's trolled okay. And it did run third at Warrnambool at its second start.
It's 3 legs in.
Yeah, and out of that race, Splendor on the Grass, which goes alright. Rubisaki, who walked in the other day at Moonee Valley. Rolls that we backed at Sandown. It's actually turned out to be not a bad race.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just, going from 2 to 3, they can be immature types and they can grow and all that sort of stuff. So it's a bit of it's a spec sort of bet, but I've got it sort of 12, 14 to 1, and I think it's twice those odds at the moment. But I just thought it's just one of those races where, it wouldn't surprise me if one of the 2 favourites won, but it wouldn't surprise me if they got beat either.
Bit of a watch and see race.
Yeah,
just without too many of them having a lot of straight form.
That's right. Yeah. I think hardly any of them actually did.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have a look at race 7, which is the Yuletide handicap over 1400 metres. And we've got a shorty here, Yulong January at $2.10.
Yeah, so he's won his past couple. He ran fast time at Ballarat, and then he went pretty good the other day. He meets a similar field here. He'll find the front, and I just think he'll be sort of, he's about his right odds around the 22.30 mark.
Yep.
Excuse me, sort of that's about what he is. Amadeus, he's going okay. He sort of chased him home the other day. He ran second to him, sitting outside him, and Casio worked home okay in the same race. I thought he might be able to improve slightly off that run here, sort of third up. And Galaxy Raider also, he came through the same race as well, I think. Yeah, he got a long way back, and he was actually one of the best closers in the race. So I thought they all had sort of chances, but around sort of $9 mark.
Yeah.
So basically thought Yulong January was around what price it should be, and then those three were sort of all sort of $9 shots sort of thing to chase it.
No worries. So definitely the favourite, the one to be with there.
Yes.
Yeah, so the race, eighth race is benchmark 84 over 1,600 metres. Old mate Shawnee at the top of the market, $2.70 from Oceans 14 at $6.50 at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately there's no $5 available that we got Cup Day. She's a mare and she just flies at Flemington.
Yep.
They scratched it from last week, possibly because there was another talented horse in the race, which actually failed, surprisingly. But and so I'd say they've just saved it for this week. It's definitely a weaker field than last week, and again, actually I think she's slightly longer, but I've got her like $2.60, $2.70. So
yep. Yeah, you get a little bit better than that at the moment.
yeah, so I would think she'll probably firm up, unless it's Savage on pace or something like that, which I'm assuming it's just going to be even. Ocean's 11, I thought it was the second pick, but it is second up off 430-day break.
Yep.
But it ran well first up, and Son Morris he doesn't have a lot of runners and stuff like that, but he's quite an astute trainer. So I thought it was a clear second pick, and then basically it was sort of out the gate to the rest. And I think the third, I think it'll run shorter, Shawnee, because the 13's running today at Yarragland. How low can you go? So
right.
I think it'll come out.
No worries. And race 9, benchmark 78 again down the straight. And top of the market at the moment, Sebricate and Zissus are both around about $3.50. Any straight form here or anything worth looking at?
So Sebricate's got good straight. Well, it's funny. She's got a good figure, but I thought that she didn't really handle it 2 starts ago when she ran the Group 2. On my comments I wrote down that she got on the wrong leg and had no luck, and they actually bonused her off that run. And then the next start she failed. If she ran to those figures, she's probably a 2-to-1 chance.
Yeah.
But she's first up, just off a short break. She trialled okay, and Strong Barrier won. So I sort of took something off, and I think I sort of got a $5. I'm sort of happy.
Yep.
There. Mumbles pulled up with an issue at Mooney. He couldn't get in the race the way the race was run. First up, it was terrific. It has run well down the straight before, so I thought it was good odds. I've sort of got them equal favourites.
Okay.
and then Zaziz ran well, first up, running home nicely, and I sort of thought he'd had a chance, but I've got it much longer than the market. I've got it sort of about $6.50 third pick. And then things like More Wanted's got some hope at decent odds.
Yep.
Warrnambool Trained Horse goes well fresh. He's a good trainer. And the 10 had some hope as well. Mike Moroney's horse hasn't had much luck the last couple. Drawn out, might be able to get over the top of him. So I thought he was double figure chance as well. But again, I think it was it's a race where there's probably 6 or 7 chances and
Yep.
and sort of wide open.
Yep. All right. Well, look, the Valley tonight's been cancelled with the heat, but they're still in the Yarravella today.
Yeah. So with now the as I said in the alert yesterday, it's just been a bit difficult with. Basically, we've got 3 metro meetings in 4 days, and it's just hard to get everything done.
Yep.
And when I actually thought about the week that we actually did have some bets in the picture was the week that there were only actually 2 meetings. There was no Friday night. So I'm actually going to spend the next hour or so going over some races at Yarra Glen. So hopefully we can have a bet before lunchtime, and because I'd have to start at 10:30 and find a winner maybe, and then we've got tomorrow at Flemington. So now it thins out a little bit with so there's no Friday night meetings until the straight A weekend.
Yep.
So we're sort of 2 metro meetings a week. I can sort of cover a bit more ground with the meetings. So over the Christmas period, there tends to be they have some good meetings at Warrnambool, which I sort of like betting at Warrnambool. And those sort of places. They race at Geelong a fair bit. Mornington a bit, which is sort of you can take it or leave it, but it's sort of some meetings. So next week we've got I think Wangaratta on Monday, Werribee Tuesday, and then we've got Boxing Day, and then there's only one meeting on the Friday night, which is Cranbourne, leading into back to the Valley on the Saturday. So hopefully there's a few more opportunities, and we can finish off the year sort of the way we started, and then get stuck into it in 2020.
Yeah, and just on Wednesday actually will end up being a pretty good day. Found a couple of winners and.
And they were sort of well back. So I think what the Mr. Monaco was good odds, and the one I sort of liked, Think We're Due. He sort of just grabbed hold of it, went back to the fence, and sort of didn't give it much hope. And I think 50 metres after the line, it was a length and a half in front. So, but we sort of backed the winner, and the last winner was. I think when the bias became sort of apparent that you sort of was, what happens is it's not that it's firmer on the inside, it's that the track's even, so the inside's no disadvantage.
Yeah.
And with the rail out 14 metres, it's a big turning circle. So the wider you are, the more ground you're covering. So those horses on the fence just get an easier run.
Yep.
So it's actually not, it was, a fast lane on the fence. It's just the contour of the track and the fact that it's even.
Yep.
And so I think when that became apparent, those horses, about an hour and a half out, were heavily backed.
Yeah.
Because, the winner, was freely available, $8.50, a little bit of $9 in the morning. And then about an hour and a half before the race, it sort of plummeted right in.
So took some early odds.
Yeah, well, that sort of worked well, So, which we've sort of been doing a bit lately. So, we sort of got one wrong last Saturday, but in the end it didn't, but none of them won anyway. But, it's just horses for courses and just sort of trying to work out, which ones I want to back and things like that. So, but, it'd be interesting to see how it is going forward with supposedly one of the bigger players, not playing nowadays or doing things a bit different. So there hasn't been as much movement. It's just anecdotally, there hasn't been as much movement in the early markets during the week as because I think for the big volume players, they want to be able to hold the price up for as long as they can.
Yep.
So that when the pools grow and or like bet for you grows, then they can get as much money on. There's not much point them taking the price at 9 o'clock when they can't. If they're wanting to have 10,000 on things, and smash the price, then they want, they're going to want to try and hold up for as long as they can, so they can get all their money on, the maximum sort of thing. So it's interesting times.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All right. Well, So a Merry Christmas to you, Trev.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, Mark. Merry Christmas to everybody, and hopefully we'll get a prize for a turkey today or tomorrow.
Sounds good.
And I hope everyone has a good Christmas, and we'll be back. So we've got Saturday, then Boxing Day.
Yep.
And then I think we'll be back doing these in the new year.
Good stuff. No worries. We'll chat to you then.
Great. Thanks. Thank you.